Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Jaydens Show. So today we're going to be talking about one of the terrible coaching hires of all time in the Dallas Cowboys, but the other one we're going to talk about too is Pete Carroll returning coaching in the NFL with the Las Vegas Raiders. So the first one we're going to talk about specifically is Pete Carroll. At the parting ways with their first-time head coach Antonio Pierce, the Las Vegas Raiders are bringing in an experienced leader. The Raiders are hiring Super Bowl winner Pete Carroll to become their next head coach. NFL insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported Friday per sources informed on the situation. The 73-year-old Carroll will return to the sidelines after 1 year as a senior advisor for the Seattle Seahawks. The Raiders mark the fourth NFL franchise that Carroll will lead. With a career 170, 120 to 1 regular season record, Carroll started his head coaching journey 30 years ago with the New York Jets. So, this is not a bad move by the Raiders. Obviously, with Antonio Pierce, they thought that, well, not even getting into that. Just for my personal opinion, I don't think Antonio Pierce got a fair shot. Given to what he had Aiden O'Connell as Gardner Minshew as his quarterback. Okay. They didn't have nothing at wide receiver. Jacoby Myers, he's okay. He's a number 2 at best. Obviously, they had a rookie sensation in Brock Bowers at tight end. Outside of that, Tyree Wilson on defense, Max Crosby, Jack Jones at defensive back. That's really all you got. You don't really have a squad, and definitely on the offensive side of the ball, you don't got nothing to work with. So I don't even think Antonio Pierce was given a good shot. But the way that Antonio Pierce has handled himself in the media, really trashing his team. I don't know if the Raiders players were a fan of him. I don't know if they were really playing for Antonio Pierce. I don't know. Mark Davis probably knows more than we do. So obviously they let him go, and they bring in a coach in Pete Carroll who's won a Super Bowl, who should have won multiple Super Bowls. We all know what happened with the Marshawn Lynch situation. But you got to get a quarterback. I don't know what pick in the draft the Raiders have. I think it is top 5. Maybe I think they're probably number 4. I think 4 is Giants. So maybe Raiders are 2 or 3. But you got to get a quarterback, and it's going to be Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. If you don't get a quarterback, nothing's going to change with Pete Carroll. Look, Pete Carroll's a great coach. He's the reason why Beast Mode, the Legion of Boom on defense, Russell Wilson being successful his rookie contract. He had Doug Baldwin at wide receiver, had Golden Tate. He had a good squad. But with this roster that the Raiders have right now, he's not doing anything. They got Max Crosby in a bag of chips. Literally. They have nothing. Jacoby Myers. Okay. Brock Bowers. Again, he's got to have somebody throwing the ball. They don't have a star running back. They gotta get pieces. It is a good hire. There's not many good coaches out in the market. Obviously, you don't want Mike McCarthy. Cliff Kingsbury is probably going to stay. Joe Brady probably don't want the Raiders job. It's not a very remarkable job to take. Not plenty of options left. Aaron Glenn's already went to the Jets. Ben Johnson's already went to the Bears. So there's not really many options to hire if you're the Raiders, and this is the best option they had. You know, Pete Carroll, 73 years old, is going to be the oldest active head coach in the NFL. But for the Raiders, it's a good hire. It's a good hire. I just don't think Antonio Pierce was given a fair shot, as I said earlier. But this is, if you want to get on he is a defensive head coach still, Pete Carroll, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have to get a good OC in there. But maybe it's just because they're leaning on, maybe he had this much success with Russell Wilson. So maybe he's good at, talking to the quarterbacks, being a culture builder. They need another voice in that locker room. That's probably what they're doing with this move. I don't hate it. It's just they got to get a quarterback in there to be successful. Because if you still got Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell back there, you're going to get the same result. Now, moving away from that, we got to get to the man of the hour, Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer was just hired as the Dallas Cowboys' 10th head coach in the franchise, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. There will be no big splash from outside the building. The Dallas Cowboys are making an in-house pick from their pool of head coaching candidates, hiring offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer as their next head coach, the team announced on Friday night. Dallas is giving Schottenheimer a 4-year deal. Schottenheimer will become the 10th full-time head coach, as I said earlier, for the Cowboys, and the 9th hired by Jerry Jones since he purchased the team in 1989. From personal experience, I can honestly say this is one of the darkest days in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. There was reports last Monday, made a video about it. Primetime Deion Sanders was taking calls from Jerry Jones about hiring him to be the coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And we all fell for the okie doke. I, for one, I was like, man, the reason why I fell for it is like, if anybody could be able to pull this off, it could be Deion. Deion knows Jerry Jones. He loves Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones loves Deion. It could probably it could probably be true. It could probably happen. And then, Mike McCarthy lost his job on that Monday, and you only interview 4 head coaches. You did a Zoom call with Kellen Moore. You interviewed Robert Saleh. You interviewed Leslie Frazier. And there's one other person that they interviewed. I don't even know who it was. I can't even remember. Well, Brian Schottenheimer. He was the 4th one. You had candidates like Aaron Glenn. Didn't talk to him. Didn't care to reach out to him. Didn't even give him nothing. Ben Johnson. Didn't want to reach out. Didn't want to call. And you go with a guy who has bounced from job to job his whole career. He's not going to be his dad. I don't know much about his father, but obviously his father has one of the biggest resumes in the history of football, obviously, because he's beloved. But he's not walking through that door. His son has had he had success with the Seattle Seahawks. But outside of his stint with the Seattle Seahawks, when he had Russell Wilson in him, he's done nothing. He was the Chargers quarterback coach from 2002 to 2005. He was the Jets OC from 2006 to 2011. He was the Rams OC from 2012 to 2014. He was the OC for the University of Georgia in 2015. He was a Colts QB coach in 2016 and 2017. He was the Seahawks OC in 18 to 2020. He was a Jags passing coordinator in 2021. And then that's when he headed to the Cowboys to be an analyst in 2022. He's bounced around jobs. What is the one thing as an organization you have to say? Will this move make my divisional opponents scared? No, it did not. You know what? The Eagles and the Commanders, they're worried about playing a game against each other this Sunday, an NFC Championship game, something y'all haven't been to in almost 30 years. And then the Giants, you know what they're doing? They're laughing at you. You hired a guy who has never, ever been considered for a head coaching job. He's never even been able to keep a stable OC job. You hired a guy who nobody even wanted. Wasn't even thought about. Wasn't even in the... Brian Schottenheimer wasn't even in the conversation to the beginning of this week. We went from last Monday talking about Deion Sanders, and then we was talking about Leslie Frazier, then we talked about Kellen Moore, and then we talked about Deion Sanders and Robert Saleh. And then all of a sudden, Brian Schottenheimer just comes out at the beginning of the week, and there's reports saying he actually might get the job. I, for one, didn't fall for it. I was like, there's no shot that Jerry Jones can be this dumb to hire Brian Schottenheimer. And he did. There are multiple reports saying that Jerry Jones didn't really want Brian Schottenheimer. He was wanting Deion, and then the dumb, his son, Stephen Jones, he was wanting Brian Schottenheimer. But this is the beginning of the end of a great, proud franchise. The reason why you fire Mike McCarthy is to get a bigger voice, to get a fresh start, to put an inch of hope into the fan base. You didn't do that. You made it worse. If it would have kept Mike McCarthy, there would have been more hope than this hire. And then you hire him for 4 years just because you know he's not going to last. Because you know why? You kept the contract as long as Dak Prescott's is. Another 4 years. You know it's not going to last. You're going to kick him and Dak Prescott out the door. I'd be shocked if Brian Schottenheimer makes 2 seasons. It might get that bad. It's pathetic. I wanted to say all the things that everybody has been saying about Jerry Jones for the last 2 years. I wanted it to be not true. I was really thinking that Jerry Jones really wanted to win, but he just loves his players so much that he builds relationships with them. He said plenty of times they make him feel young. But at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is selfish. He don't care about the fans. I honestly don't think he cares for the best benefit of the players. I know that he takes care of it. That's not what I mean by that. I don't think he cares that his players are winners. All Jerry Jones cares about is tyranny, dictatorship. He likes the idea that he has power over something. He's narcissistic. He don't want a head coach like the Deion Sanders, like the Andy Reids, like the Ben Johnson, like the Mike Tomlin. He don't want a coach or Jim Harbaugh. He don't want that coach that's going to, as soon as they hop into the room, they're going to be a bigger image than you are. Jerry Jones don't want that. He wants the guy that he can put on his sleeve and tell him everything that he needs to do. You ain't gonna be able to make your own coaching staff. No, I got all the guys for you. I know who to get. Same thing for drafting. Nah, I don't want your input as a coach on who to draft. I got it. Me and Will McClay, we got this. We good. This is the new era of the Dallas Cowboys. And it's going to last because the son and the family are just as bad, or not worse, than the father who bought the team in 1989. Nothing is going to change in Dallas unless they sell the team. And that's not happening. The Dallas Cowboys is the Jones family's personal toy. They just want to play around with it. They like the fact that they have the toy, but they don't love the toy. They're the little kid that gets a new toy all the time and is done playing with it after a week, or has broke it in a week. They don't love it. They don't appreciate it. They don't want to take care of it. They don't want its best interest. That's what the Dallas Cowboys is to the Jones family. They like the idea that they're printing dollars. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm not stepping foot in AT&T Stadium next year, next season, training camp in California. I'm not showing up. I want the stands to be unfilled. AT&T Stadium, I want 75% capacity at the best. And when they go 4-10, 4-12, 4-13, 5-13, whatever the record's going to be, I don't even care. 17, whatever, 4-13. That's 17 games. I don't want fans there. I don't want them buying no merchandise. I don't even want this fan base to even give Jerry Jones the inch of thought that he's running a successful franchise, that he thinks the fan base is happy. Majority of the fan base right now is not happy. We want to change. Instead, we get a continuation of what already was. I'm sorry, Dallas fans. I know I have plenty of friends and family that's Dallas fans. I know I see the plethora of fans on Twitter. But the glory days is not coming. The early days when Jones ran a team with Jimmy Johnson, they're not coming. Jimmy Johnson was the last great coach that had that Mike Tomlin kind of effect, that had that Bill Belichick kind of effect, who ran the show. And guess what? He won you 3 Super Bowls, and Jerry Jones put the boot down on him and kicked him out of the organization and fired him after winning 3 Super Bowls. Guess what? The trio was only 28 years old. Troy Aikman was the oldest of the trio. He was 28. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how old Patrick Mahomes is? If I'm not mistaken, Pat Mahomes is 26, 27, 28 right now. So just imagine, just like the Chiefs right now, they're on the cusp of possibly winning 3 straight Super Bowls. Already won 3, by the way. And it's like the Allen family kicking the boot on Andy Reid after he's possibly about to win 4 Super Bowls in the span of 6 years. And we really had the nerve as Cowboys fans to think that the black cat or the karma, as everybody likes to say, even though I don't believe in karma, that all that was just going to drop after he inducted Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor. Really? It took Jerry Jones 26 years to put the man who is responsible for 3 out of your 5 championships in the Cowboys Ring of Honor? The reason why that he assembled a team that put them on the map to call them America's team, the head coach of that team, who had the players like Charles Haley, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Em Smith, Larry Allen. Really? Really? I'm pretty sure all those guys are in the Ring of Honor. If not, most of them are. But the architect behind that team is not in the Ring of Honor. But he was in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Whatever, Dallas fans. Y'all can go around and think and be delusional every year to think that they're going to win something they're not. They're not. It's going to continue to be the same thing every year. This was the one chance where Jerry Jones and the Jones family had a chance to show themselves and show the fans that they actually care about winning. They don't care about winning. The money's printing every day. The franchise is the biggest brand in sports. One of the biggest brands in America, worth $10 billion. Because Jerry Jones knows we're stupid enough to keep putting money in his pockets. People's going to show up to training camps. People's going to buy the merchandise. People's going to show up to AT&T Stadium. And the only way that we can revolt against that is if fans don't show up. But it's not going to happen. We love this franchise. Even this season, the season Mike McCarthy's first year when we sucked, we still tune in to every game. We love this team. We love the Dallas Cowboys. We love football. I've heard a lot of fans over on Twitter saying that they're going to find a new team. I can't. I couldn't do it. I love this team too much. Who am I going to cheer for? The Raiders? This is a proud franchise. I'm not rooting for the Broncos. I'm not rooting for the Chiefs or the Chargers. I'm not rooting for Baltimore Ravens, the Bills. I want to cheer for the Dallas Cowboys. But part of me can't. But I still am. But I know one thing. I'm not buying no merchandise. I'm not going to a game. I'm not going to training camp. I'm going to continue to make videos on them because it's my job. But the day when we can revolt against them and not show them the attention that they think that they have, that's when we win as a fan base. But it's not going to happen. We're in the doomsday. The doomsdays of a once proud franchise is slowly fading away in the hands of the Jones family. I'm sorry to all the Dallas fans out there in the world. We don't deserve this. We deserve to be happy. We deserve better than this. But it's sad that we have to endure this. It's not going to get better. I'm with you. And I'm going to be covering the team. But man, is it hard not to want to just to throw in a towel. That is all I have to say about that. I love you guys so much. If you enjoyed my commentary on these 2 hires, let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to look in the description and see my sports playlist where I have all my videos linked to sports, videos about the playoffs, and videos about all the Cowboys games in the middle of the season. And if you enjoy that, and if you're a fan of any pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, I have a link in the description for that as well. I have reaction videos and comic book type podcast videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya.